What's up, sports fans? This is the Lucas Ross Sports Channel, and it's time to continue my 2023 college football predictions for the upcoming 2023 college football season. Up next, it's the Penn State Nittany Lions, a team that's coming off a really good season last year. This team went 11-2 overall. And this team has a pretty good chance, to be a dark horse contender in the Big Ten East, but they're definitely one of those top contenders coming into this year. Looking at 2023, though, they do lose their starting quarterback, Sean Clifford. He's now gone and everything, but Penn State's going to have a young offense. I think the defense should be pretty solid this year for this Penn State team. A lot of hype for this team as well. They are pretty much, ranked in the top, 10, maybe perhaps this upcoming season. Maybe this is a top 15 type team as well, so let's get right into it here with Penn State's prediction. We'll look at the schedule here for 2023. And here's the schedule for 2023 for Penn State, again coming off an 11-2 season last year. You look at the schedule, they do play West Virginia in the non-conference out of the Big 12. That's a home game for them this year. Delaware at home as well. They also play UMass in the non-conference, so their non-conference schedule not all too tough this year. And if you look at the schedule, it's not really too bad for Penn State. They were definitely in the top 10 in schedules and everything this upcoming season for the easiest schedules. And then outside the Big Ten East, they do get Illinois, Iowa, and Northwestern. They play Illinois and Northwestern both on the road, both in the month of September. And you look at that September, schedule. They do play their 3 West games here in the month of September. So that's the interesting part there. But let's go game by game and give you an official prediction for this Penn State team. So they'll start the season off here with a non-conference matchup against the Mountaineers of West Virginia. West Virginia is kind of a quiet team this year. This could be a sneaky good team in the Big 12 this upcoming season. Penn State, though, gets this game at home, and we saw it was a night game here for this game. It's a 7:30 kickoff time, so it is a night game. It's in front of a big crowd here. I think Penn State, with home field advantage, will take care of business against this West Virginia team. I really don't expect West Virginia to be all that good this year, but you never know about it. Maybe the game is really close in the first half, but maybe second half Penn State will pull away. So I got Penn State starting off 2023 with a win over West Virginia, and then I got them taking care of business against Delaware. So I got them starting off 2-0. Then it's Illinois on the road after that on September 16th. Illinois going to be a pretty good team this year. They do have a decent amount of production coming back this year. A lot of question marks for this team, but I think, Penn State will be ready for this one. It is a tough road game, though. Very tough place to play here against a Big Ten West team. But, however, I think Penn State is the more talented team here in this game, and I think their defense does take a really big step here in this one to open up Big Ten play. So with that being said, I'm going to go with Penn State here to knock off Illinois here on the road in a close one. I'm going to choose Penn State, though, in this game, but there will be times where I can probably pick up an upset alert type game, and this probably could be one of those games. But Penn State, I think, will survive a close one here on the road at Illinois. Then it's Iowa after that on September 23rd. An Iowa team that should be better than they were last year on the offensive side of the football. They got Cade McNamara coming in, the transfer from Michigan, to help them out. So that does help the passing game for Iowa. This won't be an easy game for Penn State, but the good news is they do get this one at home. If this is a road game here for Penn State, I'd probably choose Iowa in this game. But since it's a home game for Penn State, I'm going to go with Penn State here to knock off Iowa here at home on September 23rd. Now I got Penn State improving to 4-0. Northwestern on the road after that on September the 30th. I don't expect Northwestern to be all that good this year. However, it's not going to be an easy, win for Penn State. I think Northwestern can maybe give, Penn State a scare a little bit. I mean, you're coming off a really good win against Iowa, maybe the last week, but maybe this Penn State team kind of overlooks Northwestern in this next game. But with that being said, though, I think Penn State will knock off Northwestern here pretty easily on the road. Like I said, I don't expect Northwestern to be all that good this year. They were definitely one of the worst teams in the Big Ten last year in the Big Ten West as well. Then they take care of business here against UMass here on October the 14th, and they get a bye week after playing that Northwestern game, which is pretty interesting, getting a bye week before playing a non-conference team instead of a Big Ten team. Then we head to their next game. It's on the road at Ohio State here on October the 21st. So Penn State sitting here undefeated heading into this ball game against Ohio State. This is a road game, though, so it's really a tough one to call. I think Ohio State is the better team here. I mean, maybe Ohio State is entering this game with a 1 loss to Notre Dame. If you saw my Ohio State video, they probably are entering this game with 1 loss on their record. But I think Ohio State will be ready for this one. And with that being said, with it being a tough place to play in Columbia and also a really tough, game to call, I'm going to go with Ohio State here to give Penn State their first loss of the season. So I got the Buckeyes beating the Nittany Lions here in this one, and I got Penn State now falling to 6-1. Next up is Indiana on October the 28th. This is a home game for Penn State. I don't expect Indiana to be all that good this year as well. But maybe this is kind of like a trap game for Penn State. It could be a really, a trap game at home for them, but I think other than that, I think Penn State will be ready for this one, and they'll be fired up after a loss to Ohio State. And I think they get it done here against Indiana here at home on October the 28th. 7-1 now in the season before heading into the month of November. They'll play Maryland here on the road on November the 4th. This is not going to be an easy game here for Penn State. Maryland's got a decent amount of production coming back, including Talia Tagovailoa at quarterback. And you're kind of expecting Maryland to be an upset alert type game here. I'm calling that it is an upset alert type game here for this Penn State team. It's not going to be an easy game for this Penn State team, especially when it's in the month of November. And this is about the time where the college football playoff rankings start to come out, and upsets do happen during those playoff rankings. And with that being said, I'm going to go with the upset here. I like Maryland in this game, and I got Penn State losing to Maryland here on the road. It's a tough place to play. And like I said, when it comes to the college football playoff rankings, there's always going to be a team that can probably upset a team like Penn State and obviously some other teams. And I think Maryland is that team. So I'm going to go with Maryland here on November 4th to upset Penn State. I don't think Penn State fans will agree with that, but I think that's just my prediction. So Michigan after that on November the 11th. Michigan is a team that returns a lot of production coming back this year. And like I said, if you saw my Michigan video, you already know who I picked in this game. Yes, I picked Penn State. They're coming off a loss to Maryland here on the road. Maybe they're fired up here for this Michigan team. They're kind of overlooking Maryland. They were probably just focused on Michigan, maybe last week against Maryland, and maybe somehow they could probably pull off an upset here. And I think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think Penn State will knock off Michigan here at home on November the 11th. I think that's an upset alert type game. I'm going to go with the Nittany Lions here with a upset win over Michigan, who could potentially be in the top 5 by this point in the month of November. Then after that, it's Rutgers here on November 18th. I don't see the Rutgers being all that good this year. They're kind of similar to those other teams in the Big Ten with Indiana and Northwestern. I really don't see this team being all that good. I think Penn State wins easily here in this one here at home on November 18th. And I got Penn State improving to 9-2. Then it's Michigan State to end things out here on the road on November 25th. Michigan State's got a lot of production coming back on the offensive side of the football. They brought in some transfers to help them out. Defensively, I am a little bit concerned about the defensive side of the football for Michigan State, but I think Michigan State with home field advantage, that's the good news there. And this is a really back-and-forth game for me. It's a rival game. You never know what can happen. It's obviously the last game of the regular season as well. With that being said, with home field advantage and obviously a tough one to call, I'm going to go with Michigan State here to knock off Penn State in the last game of the regular season. Like I said, I don't think Penn State fans will agree with that, but I like Michigan State in this game. Same thing with Maryland and Ohio State. They do have home field advantage, and obviously these are tough games to call because Penn State's going to have a young offense, and obviously the defense, they'll be fine on that position, but the returning productions are kind of similar to both of these teams, all three of these teams, But Penn State, I got them finishing 9-3 in 2023. I think that's a really good record for them, especially after going 11-2 last year. But I think Penn State fans won't really agree with that record. But anyways, Penn State is the 9-3 record is my official prediction for this Penn State team. Let me guys know what you think about this Penn State team. What do you think their record will be in 2023? And stay tuned here for more sports content on the Lucas Ross Sports Channel.